Afternoon. Welcome back to DCTV, where I am your host, Drew Collins, bringing you all sports-related news here in the greater Cincinnati area. If you are new around here, make sure you smash that like button, join the DCTV fam by hitting that subscribe button, and if you enjoy, share it with your friends and family. WhoDey Nation and DCTV family, we are growing here very, very fast. But anyway, in today's stream, we have Cincinnati Bengals, Dallas Cowboys preview and prediction. Who's going to win? What is it going to look like? What are both teams going to have to do to get the dub? You're about to find out. Let's go. If you want to follow me or get in contact with me, furthermore, please go follow me on all my socials, Instagram, Twitter. And if you want to become a member and support by donating a certain amount each month, you can do that and join the rest of the people down right here. That'd be greatly appreciated. We're going to give it a few minutes, let some people get in here, and we will get going. Also, go join the Discord, link in the description below. There's over 70 plus people in there right now. It's growing by the day. It's insane. Just a bunch of Bengals fans that like talking pain. That's what we do. So, if that sounds interesting to you, come join the pain. What's up, LT? What's up, Crosby? It's going good, man. I just got off of work. Decided, what's better to do than get going in a stream and talk some Bengals football. How's your day going? What's up, in-law? How you doing, man? How's everyone doing? LT, put the link in the description if you want to consider joining the Discord. Can I call? Yeah, not right now. Let me go over my thoughts and everything first, and then after I got that out the way, you'll be more than welcome to call in and all that good stuff, for sure. There we go. That looks a little better. Whoop. All right, so I'm gonna get going here on Facebook. And we'll get going. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything about the game coming up, go ahead in the group chat if it's live or if it's post-production and you still have questions. Cowboys fan or Bengals fan, definitely don't be shy. Get in there. I will respond to your questions. If you want to talk, I might be doing some call-in laters, or I might let people call in later and all that jazz. All right. Can I talk about the Cowboys and the Bengals? Cowboys, yeah. Yes. Just not right now. Once I go through everything, I will definitely do some call-ins. What's up, Yeet? Welcome back. All right, so, let's not waste any more time, and let's get straight into things. We'll start with the Bengals. What do the Cincinnati Bengals have to do to pull away a W against the Dallas Cowboys? Well, in my opinion, it's pretty simple, and I'm going to go ahead and start off by starting with the offense. I have 3 main points for offense and defense. I think starting with the offense is utilizing the run game, and that's definitely easier said than done. And what I mean by that is this is what it's like when you don't have Mixon. When you don't have Mixon, it is a lot harder for us to get going in the rushing game. I think, as Bengals fans, we are starting to realize, we all love Bernard. We all love the mustache man. He has more heart and pride than he does height. But the guy gives all his heart. And unfortunately, it doesn't bring us W's, but it does bring us a very likable player on the team nonetheless. But he's not Joe Mixon. He's not a first, second down, vertical hard runner. He's more of a pass blocking veteran who can go out, run some routes, have some receptions, do a little bit of both, do the dirty work. That's what he's there. He's a veteran, and that's what he should be doing. But with Mixon out, he's been out. I think he's still out this game. Let me know if I'm wrong. Does anyone know if Mixon start playing? I didn't see anything where he was coming back. So as of I know, he's not playing, which means it's going to be majority Bernard and some Pirine. But if somehow, some way we can get the rushing game going and let it off the shoulders of Brandon Allen or Ryan Finley, whoever's going to be back there, it's going to help the Bengals tremendously. If you guys have been watching the last few weeks with Brandon Allen, moving the field down the, like, if you watch the game day streams, when we move the ball down the field, it's almost as like, holy crap, I can't believe it. It's a miracle. Like, moving the ball down the field has just been a struggle this season. Just a big time struggle. And, you know, a big reason is because it's first, second, three, you know, it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. From bad passes or to runs that are just getting stuffed. And the Dallas Cowboys, as we know, have historically one of the worst defenses of all time in this season, especially in the rushing game. Their pass rush or their rushing is terrible. I mean, even the secondary, which I'll get into, is terrible. So, running the ball. Number 2. Now, this one and number 3 kind of don't make sense because they could underline with each other. And let me explain. Number 2 is take shots down the field. And the reason why this is so important, because if you have watched the Dallas Cowboys this season, what do? Busted coverage after busted coverage after burnt man after busted coverage. After watching that Dallas Ravens game and the other primetime games I've watched this season, it's like almost each half there's a busted coverage, if not each quarter. So take shots. I know it's not Burrow. Like I know it's going to be Brandon Allen or Ryan Finley, so it's risky, but they're probably going to draw a DPI or there's going to be a busted coverage. Like if it's a busted coverage, you got to get the ball to the guy. So take shots. You know, you got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and I guess AJ Green. And Auden Tate's out for the season, so get it to those guys. We've seen the contested catches T. Higgins has made this season. He's been absolutely unbelievable. Tyler Boyd, one of the most underrated players in the league. I mean, he just creates so much space. So, you know, take shots down the field. And number 3, why I said this kind of might underline each other possibly, it's no turnovers. And you might be like, well, if we're taking shots, that's going to possibly cause turnovers. You're right. But at the same time, if we're not taking shots, then we shouldn't be turning the ball over. This is just a bad Cowboys defense, and don't keep them in the game by turning the ball over. If you watch the Baltimore Cowboys game, the only reason why the Dallas Cowboys were in it in the first half was because of the interception of Baltimore and just the little tweak plays Baltimore just were giving Dallas Cowboys. It was keeping the Cowboys in the game. They were letting them linger around. Obviously, the second half was totally different once the Ravens, kind of turned it on like usual. But, yeah, I know these two are underlining, but if you cannot, no fumbles, no interceptions. Obviously, in an NFL game, you never know. The Cowboys still have playmakers. They just have no chemistry. So I think the Bengals are going to have to, step upon that. Now heading to the Bengals defense. Pressure. Bring the pressure. We have watched Andy Dalton for the past decade. He is not good under pressure and never really has been. Bring the pressure to him. The second half when the Ravens were getting to him, it was a totally different Andy Dalton. I mean, he's been playing fairly well. He's been playing Andy Dalton football. I mean, we know what that looks like, folks. Let's not kid ourselves. Get pressure to him. And this is another one where it's definitely easier said than done just because, our rush has not been good. Sam Hubbard has been mediocre. Carl Lawson has been above average. Carlos Dunlap is gone. And our interior defense don't really get to the quarterback. So it's definitely easier in Sun. But this is a Cowboys offensive line that has 2 undrafted free agents having to play and a whole ton of injuries where these guys, half this offensive line for the Cowboys, are backups of backups. So if we can't get pressure against the Cowboys, then the Bengals just can't get pressure against anybody. Another one, stop the run. Ezekiel Elliott, we all know this has been his worst, season of his career by far. He's been a turnover machine, and it just seems like he's kind of lost a step. I mean, Cowboys fans might be a little mad about that, but I'm sure they've been hearing it all season long. If you watch the game and you're unbiased, he just doesn't look like the same Zeke. I understand he's behind a bad O-line, but Joe Mixon's been behind a bad O-line the past 3 seasons, and there's been no excuse. Obviously this season he's been riddled with injuries, But the past few seasons, Joe Mixon's been a top 10, top 8 running back easy, and he's had bottom 8, bottom 10 offensive lines his entire career. So I don't even want to hear those excuses from the Cowboys because I've seen it with Mixon. So, the Bengals haven't had a good offensive line in a while, and Mixon's had to deal with it. I understand it's harder for Ezekiel, like coming from a top 5 offensive line to a bottom 5 offensive line. I'm not saying that's not hard, but I'm just saying I don't want to hear excuses because I see what Mixon's done his entire career. Tony Pollard, we're going to have to watch him. I think he's been playing better than Ezekiel Elliott. I was watching the Ravens-Cowboys game, and it just seems like he has more energy. He has more acceleration. He's quicker to the hole. He's quicker to break out to the outside. I really like Tony Pollard and the way he plays, so I don't think we can sleep on him. But if we can really stop the run and force Andy Dalton to, win, I think this is both, I think this is definitely what both teams are doing defensively. I think the Cowboys are like, let Brandon Allen win the ball game. And I think it's the same way around. Sorry about that. I got a call. And I think it's the other way around. I think it's, make Brandon Allen win the ball game and then vice versa. I think it's, dude, come on. And I think it's the same way. Make Andy Dalton win the ball game. Now, moving on from that, turnover. I think turnover is the same thing. I think both teams are going to try to capitalize on the turnovers. I think both teams are going to come in with the same mindset. They're both 2-3 win teams that are out of the playoffs, but I think they're going to have similar game plans when it comes to actually getting a W. And I think both want pressure, both want to stop the run, and both want to turn the ball over. And I think this is going to be really important for the Bengals because getting guys like Jesse Bates and Von Bell, who's coming off a huge game, getting them going early is key. I mean, we got to understand Dalton has weapons. You got Cooper, and you got a lot of guys that can go down and make plays. Let's not sleep on these Dallas weapons. We've had corners who have got burned all season long. Phillips gets burnt once, twice, 3-4 times every single game. William Jackson's good for about being burnt once or twice a game. So our corners, I want to see him, I don't want to see Dalton throwing for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns in his return game. That just would be pretty upsetting. So those are my thoughts on that. And then for my final score, my score prediction for the game is 16-13 with the Bengals W. For Dallas fans, I know you're going to be upset, but you're a 3-win team in the worst division, and we're a 2-win team in one of the best divisions. I think the Bengals could win 16-13 on a low-scoring affair. I think you're going to see a lot of ugly offense, a lot of big defensive plays. I think it's just going to be a defensive game. In my opinion, I just see a lot of defense and a lot of bad offense, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of special teams. I think we're going to see a lot of field goals, a lot of punters. Kind of like the first half of the Baltimore Cowboys game. That's how I expect this Bengals and Cowboys game to go. It was all field goals. It was ugly. It was a lot of missed field goals and a lot of bad punts. But I think this game's going to be pretty similar. A lot of special teams. I mean, I'm going to say this right now. I think the winner might be whoever has the better special teams. I honestly think the winner of this game might come to special teams. And you don't see that a lot in the NFL. But it's 2020. It's Andy Dalton versus the Bengals. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought a year ago that Andy Dalton would be playing against Brandon Allen? Who would have thought? I mean, not in a million years, I don't think anybody would have thought that. That it should be Joe Burrow versus Dak Prescott. But it's 2020, and here we are. So pretty interesting. What are we saying in the chat? Yeet says 27-16 Bengals. What's up, Stuart WhoDey? First thing we need to do is get that O-line straight and not give up sacks. Yeah, and you could put that on the offense, protect the quarterback, which is, I think, probably the most obvious out of all of them. I just decided to ignore that because week after week I say that, and week after week we don't do it, if that makes sense. So at this point, I've kind of given up on protecting the quarterback because it just can never be done. This Cowboys defense has a lot of talent and a lot of overpaid guys, but those guys were paid because the Cowboys really thought they had a lot of talent. So they can definitely get to the quarterback. But, I mean, when I was watching the Cowboys defense against the Ravens, they weren't even really losing because the Ravens were making plays. The Cowboys were just beating up on themselves. I mean, it was blown coverage after blown coverage. Guys were getting beat off the jump. Linebackers were picking the wrong holes to get a tackle. Vander Esch, I saw him go to the left side, and then Lamar ran it right up the gut. He just picked the wrong hole, and, that was his assignment, QB spy. So, I just think this Dallas defense just really shot themselves in the foot all game long, and it seems like they've been doing it all season long. So we will definitely have to see how the offense can do. And this is why this stinks, because if we had Burrow, I think he would have 300-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, it would be a crazy game. But, I mean, vice versa for Dak Prescott. I think Dak Prescott would have all day in the pocket, just throwing for 350, 3 touchdowns. So this game would have just been a lot more interesting with both starting quarterbacks. But here we are. Both teams are riddled with injuries. Both teams, are definitely having a disappointing season. But nonetheless, I think both teams still want to win. If the Bengals win, so what? They go up a spot or 2 in the draft. If the Cowboys win, they maybe go up a few spots. I've seen a lot of people talk about, like, oh, these teams need to lose out so they can get the best available player. Well, the Bengals are in market for an offensive lineman, so we can get an offensive lineman at pick 2 or pick 5. It's really not going to make that big of a deal. And same thing with the Cowboys. Unless they decide to get a Dak Prescott replacement, they're probably drafting O-line, maybe linebacker. I mean, Cowboys fans, let me know. Maybe corner, safety. I don't know. You guys just have so many overplayed players. I don't know who you want to replace. So let me know what are your guys' thoughts on everything in the comment section, live or post-production. I'd really like to see what you guys are thinking. I think both teams are suffering pretty hard. I really like Dalton too, and I don't think much of our QBs. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to put it like this. I don't think anybody saying in 2020 Bengals versus Cowboys, Dalton would be the best quarterback on the field. I'll get that straight. I don't think people would think he's better than Dak, and I don't think people would think he's better than Burrow. But in this game, he is better than both of our quarterbacks, Ryan Finley and Brandon Allen. So it's honestly crazy to say that. But yeah, he is. And I think this is huge. I've liked Dalton as a person. I've always said he's a better human being off the field than player on the field. Those have always just been my thoughts about him. He's done a lot for the Cincinnati community, so I have a lot of respect for him. I don't tolerate any disrespect towards Andy Dalton, but he's not the best player. And I mean, I've watching him the past almost decade. I can say that. I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, he's going to be the best player on the field tomorrow. He's a veteran. He can make good audibles. There was a couple times in the Dallas-Baltimore game where he was making really smart veteran audible moves. And I was like, there you go, Dalton. What a play. And there was a lot of times where I saw classic Dalton moves where it gave me flashbacks to Cincinnati, where instead of trying to make a play, he overthrows the receiver by 15 yards out of bounds. You got weapons. You got Amari Cooper and a whole bunch of guys. Go give him a chance. Andy Dalton did that a lot with the Bengals, and, I saw a lot of it. So it's going to be very exciting, though. I have my Bengals Color Rush Dalton jersey, so maybe I should wear it, maybe not. I think I will just because the jokes. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I probably shouldn't be as much as I am, but just to see Andy Dalton come back. I mean, if you guys follow me on my Twitter, which you haven't already, please go follow me on Twitter. I'll give you a shout out. I tweeted out recently, like, man, it's crazy to think, like, I have a really bad feeling or a really awkward feeling. I really think Andy Dalton's going to have a great game statistically against the Bengals this week. And a lot of people were like, yeah, I think that too. So I don't know why. I just have this odd feeling like Dalton is going to get some revenge. The just disrespect from Coach Taylor last year to bench him on his birthday for Ryan Finley. Just like complete utterness, disrespect. He's not that type of player. He completely respects Cincinnati. And, like if you watch his press conferences, he said nothing but great things. But if I'm Dalton, I'm definitely kind of getting some fuel from those moments. Like, oh yeah, it's my time. So it's just 2020 is a wild time, man. Yeah, I agree with you. I really hope we just have lots of passes because I want to see our receivers improve. I also want to see our defense do some work Sunday. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. I want to see us to go rush first just because of Brandon Allen. But I just don't think it's going to happen. It hasn't happened since we've been without Joe Mixon. So, it sounds like we're going to have to throw the ball. And Brandon Allen hasn't done that well since he's played. Either has Ryan Finley. So we have playmakers. Go get them the ball. Okay, go let them get a chance to get the ball. I see our defense getting 2 turnovers. I mean, yeah, the turnovers are a very good chance. Andy Dalton's Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, classic 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, or 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 200, a handful of yards. I mean, those are classic Andy Dalton stats. So I wouldn't be surprised if he takes some shots down the field against this, shaky, shoddy Bengals secondary so far this season. I mean, I'd be really surprised. I mean, the Cowboys' offensive play calling all season has been just trickery play after trickery play, and I think they're going to definitely try to do that against this Bengals defense, which has kind of struggled with that stuff all season long. But at the same time, you have a lot of teams just keeping it straight up with the Bengals and still just doing the thing, so we'll definitely have to see. I'm going to be really disappointed if Andy Dalton puts up 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. Look, I would be disappointed too, but I'm not saying there's not a chance. I don't know why. I've just had this weird feeling in my body coming up to leading to this game. Like, this is Dalton's game, man. This is his revenge game. It really is. And I know he's not that type of player, but I mean, if this isn't a revenge game, I don't know what is. What's up, Night Wolves? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully a flag football coach calls the O-line plays tomorrow. Your voice jack isn't all the way in? What do you mean? Jamar Chase or Sewell? Definitely Sewell, I think. I mean, that sounds like that sounds like everyone's guy. I mean, every draft I've seen, like early draft, I've seen him on majority of them. So I think that's, as of right now, what everyone's going for. If Bengals had Jamar Chase, boy would be scoring. Yeah, but, I think we already have a lot of, playmakers. Obviously, I still think AJ's going to walk. But, I think protecting our playmakers is most important. I think that starts with the offensive line. Joe Burrow with Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase would be insane. I mean, it would be for sure. But I just don't know if I spend my first round pick on a receiver this year. Anyways, moving on for the Dallas, point of view. I think for the Cowboys, you have to, offensively make smart plays, try some trickery. I mean, why not? Your season's over, and you got Dalton against Bengals. I'm expecting trickery. I'm thinking maybe a fake punt or, end arounds, some crazy screens, flea flicker. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if I see that tomorrow. They have one of the craziest playbooks in all of the NFL, and I just feel like this game, they're going to try to do something crazy. Like, I just wouldn't be surprised. But offensively, if you can get Zeke going, man, I mean, this is the game. Bengals' rush defense has been one of the worst in all football. I mean, they're like breaking records how bad they've been. And, like, I just want to say, a lot of people think, he's not the same player he once was in Ezekiel Elliott, but you still have Tony Pollard. You have pretty 2 good running backs. If you can't get going against this Bengals, front 7, then you might as well call it quits for the rest of the season and just see, evaluate Ezekiel Elliott and if he has a future still. Because they should come out ground and pound. Like, I know a lot of people are calling for a big Andy Dalton game, even me, sort of. So I don't know. Here, let me hear this. Hold on, I'm trying to see if I can. So, I think I know the problem. I think I had 2 mics on. Oh, that was the problem. All right, does this one sound better? Let's see if this one sounds better. All right, that's my bad. Wow, great. Thank you for telling me, but it is like 25 minutes into the stream, so that's unfortunate. Tell me if this sounds better. It probably should sound better. It probably should sound better now. Anyways, I'm kind of off topic now, but if I was the Cowboys offense, you know, get your guys going downfield. Just try to run it down the throat. If that's not working, then let Andy Dalton do his thing. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm trying to keep this simple. I'm trying to just run it down their throat. Teams that have had success against the Bengals this season, they go rush first, and most of the time, it usually works. Most of the time, so. Now moving on from that, I think for the Cowboys defense, same thing as the Bengals defense. Send the pressure. This is one of the worst offensive line in football going up against one of the worst offensive lines in football. So I think you got to send the pressure. You got to send the heat. Force Brandon Allen to crumble under pressure. And they get the ball out quick. And then special teams, like I said, a lot of people sleep on special teams. But I'm really calling for this to be whoever has the possible better special teams wins the game. Just because I feel like there's going to be a lot of field goals. There's going to be a lot of punts. A lot of 3-and-outs. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of special teams. So whoever can play better on the special teams, I feel like could win the game. And that's a little frightening. Kevin Huber punter. He's Kevin Huber. He's not great, but he's not bad. And then, same with kicking. Randy Bullock. We'll have to see. I don't know if I want to put the game in his hands. So let's hopefully that we don't. Moving on from that, do you guys have any predictions or anything? Any questions about the game possibly? Once again, final score 16-13 Bengals dub. Well, I guess now we'll get into my prediction, my player prediction for the Bengals. For the offense, I think Bernard will get a touchdown. I definitely think Bernard will punch one in there. If it's receiving or rushing, I'm not too sure, but I think you get a Bernard touchdown tomorrow. Or Sunday, excuse me. And I think, I want to put Tyler Boyd, but this week it's almost Tyler Boyd big week after big week. Ooh, although he did get ejected last week, so I'm going to put my money on Tyler Boyd. I think you get 75 plus yards and a touchdown. I think the boys steaming, coming off of the stupidest ejection. Neither of those players should have got ejected last week. And it was really BS, especially Tyler Boyd, who was getting pushed around. All he did was stick up for himself. So I definitely think I would put my money on Boyd. And then last but not least, I'm going to hope for 4 or less sacks. 4 or less sacks. So my predictions, my player prediction or team predictions are a Bernard touchdown, a 75-yard touchdown, or a 75-yard one receiving touchdown for Boyd, and 4 or less sacks for the offensive line. It's crazy, but as a Bengals fan, that I have to guess 4 or less sacks. That's insane. Did you hear about the Eagles starting Jalen Hurts and benching Carson Wentz? Yeah, I mean, I think it's the right move. I know they're tied up to a $100 million contract. They just played Carson Wentz, but they got to try to find a spark. I mean, the fact that they're still in the playoffs and they're like a 3-win team blows my mind. But I think throw them in there. I think it's weird they're throwing them in there against the Saints, one of the best defenses in the entire NFL, if not the best. So, I think that's a little weird. But maybe a lot of spark for Wentz, or maybe it might just turn him off, and his career might not ever be the same. Like it seemed like it's going down. But I think they had to do something. I just think this is a weird week to throw Jalen Hurts in there against one of the best defenses in the NFL. You know what I mean? If they're going in there against a bottom defense, I say, yeah, I mean, that's a good shot. Why not? I just think that's awkward timing. For our defense, I'm going to guess another Logan Wilson game. I mean, Logan Wilson has been so impressive as a rookie and that linebacking crew. I'm going to guess 2 TFLs and a forced fumble by Wilson. I know that's kind of a crazy game, but I'm feeling it. You already know JB 3 turnover. I mean, it's almost every week at this point where he almost gets a turnover or gets one. So I think it's an easy call there. And then last but not least, hopefully a Carl Lawson sack. I mean, if we go sackless in this game without a sackle, it's just going to be pure disappointment. Cowboys fans, when you're watching live or post-production, let me know your player predictions for you Cowboys players. I definitely would like to see who you think might have a big game. I mean, but honestly, as a Bengals fan, I really think, like, Ezekiel Elliott, man, like, there's no excuse why he shouldn't be going besides not getting a lot of the ball. Like, I was watching and it was weird. It was like first quarter, Elliott, 2, Tony, 3, Elliott. It's like they were switching up by quarters almost, and it was, like, really strange. It reminded me of like Pee Wee football when each player got like a quarter or two and they switched off. I don't know. It was strange to me about the running game. So I said, I don't care who wins, just I hope an exciting game and Dalton doesn't get injured. I'm a little concerned about that. I'm not really concerned. Like, Bengals players aren't going to be going after him on purpose. I don't think there's anybody on the team that hates Dalton. Like, Dalton didn't do anything wrong as a Bengal. If anything, the Bengals did something wrong for him, the way they ended his career. So, like, what I mean by that is like the benching and everything, just the way they went about it was really weird. So I don't really, I'm not going to think Bengals aren't going to play dirty. I don't think they really have anything against Dalton. They got rid of Dalton and they got the next guy. It is what it is. The Giants have the worst offensive line and they looked like pros against our defensive line, LOL. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I hope we can get some pressure. It's my big thing, but definitely easier said than done for this Bengals unit. They just struggle week in and week out to get pressure. And it's, Carl Lawson's coming up. We got to pay him this offseason. I'm not ready to get into those talks quite yet because that's my offseason juice. But are we going to pay him? Like, we shouldn't pay him a lot as of what I've seen. I think his potential is high for him. But dude is not getting to the quarterback. And same with Sam Hubbard. We're not getting to the quarterback. I know our interior is not good either, or hasn't been good, as a lot of people projected. But, it is what it is. Oh, Dalton doesn't have eyes. That's what you mean. Okay, I thought you were taking in context like somebody might try to go after him. But yeah, Dalton, he's not the most aware quarterback. So we all know that, but I was seeing him put his body on the line. I mean, he has all season long as a Cowboy. He's put his body on the line. So we'll definitely have to see. Does anybody have any last questions or comments about the game? If you haven't already, hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And then you can donate as well if you would like, or become a member. And follow me on my socials if you haven't. That's the best way to get in contact with me personally. Which is definitely cool because I've had a lot of, subscribers follow me on my socials and get in contact with me. It's really nice of you guys to do that. QBs are dropping left and right, and Dalton already got injured. Yeah, I mean, he had a really nasty concussion, coming off a thumb injury a few years ago. But I know this year in particular, it's been crazy about injuries for quarterbacks. But I mean, Dalton's had injuries in his past. Yeah, nothing crazy. But yeah, I think we'll definitely have to see. And I mean, this is kind of like an injury bowl. I mean, if the Bengals and 49ers played, I think that would be the king of injury bowl. But I mean, I think with the games we have left, I think this is it. It's just both teams just devastated. devastated. Just pure and utter, you know, injuries across the board, especially for the Bengals. And, I know the Cowboys are down, obviously, Dak. And, I think the interesting thing come next year, both these quarterbacks are going to come up for comeback player of the year. I know they're calling for, Burrow to be week 1 to mid-season ready. I don't know what they were saying about Dak. I know Dak's injury, I would say, was probably worse, considering his ankle was completely 180 degrees and he had to go into immediate surgery. So I don't know what they're calling for the return date of Dak, if it's next season or next year or mid-season next year. Hopefully he gets healed up quick because, boy, you can say whatever you want about the Cowboys, but watching Dak Prescott play, man, is a lot of fun. He is just so much fun to watch him sling that rock. So, I think come next year, if both these guys are healthy and ready to play, these guys are going to be battling out for comeback player of the year. So is half the league because there's so many players injured this year. It's going to be insane. Overall, I'd like to see Dalton win the game. And I've seen a lot of Bengals fans on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram make that statement. They're like, you know what? We're not making the playoffs for another season. We're battling for draft capital. I want to see Andy Dalton get this W. And, yeah, I wouldn't, but I'm not going to be angry if he does. I still want the Bengals to win because, there's no reason to go winless the rest of the season, in my opinion. But, I still want to win. I still want it to be a close game. But there's been a lot of fans saying, you know what? Dalton deserves this one. Let's get Dalton his first W. So, I'm really intrigued. Any last questions anybody might have? Any last questions? Like I said, if you watch this post-production, you can always comment down below, and I will. Also, if you're a Dallas fan and you're looking for somewhere to watch the game, feel free to hit that sub button, and I will be live Sunday from 12:30ish to 4:30. Entire play-by-play, live reaction. It's a whole lot of fun. So if you want to come somewhere to watch it, you probably will have a lot of Bengals fans in here, but we accept fans of all, and it's just a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a watch party, definitely consider, because we do one for every game day for the Bengals. All right, I'll see you Sunday, Shaw. It was good seeing you in here. I'll definitely see you Sunday. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. The Andy Dalton payback game, return game. There's so many ways to title it. I don't know. It's gonna be a lot of fun seeing Cowboys Nation. Out of all the years we get to play them, it's probably their worst year in a long time. Usually when you play the Cowboys, they're at least competitive, and I guess you could still say they are this year since they're only about 2 games out of the playoffs, even with 3 wins. So I guess you could still say they're competitive. So I'll see you Sunday, LT. Thank you for everything you do. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Well, if nobody has any more questions, I'm going to head out of this one. We've been live for over 30 minutes, so one more time, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Join the DCTV family on hashtag Road to 2K. Join the DCTV family and WhoDey Nation. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I will be back Sunday for the game play-by-play and watch party. It's a whole lot of fun, so I'm super excited. I'll see you guys then. If you have any other comments, get at me on my socials, join the Discord, and I'll see you guys Sunday. As always, stay you, stay true, and WhoDey.